just one of the slow plots. I'm pretty sure Gods and Toby won. They'd be very proud.
Radiant team pick.
I never knew he was Australian.
Well, KP, Anna as well.
Yeah, I know about Anna.
Oh, sacrilege. Pretty sure somewhere out there, if Gods was listening or something, or Toby, they'd be like, what? PQ, how did you not know? But, okay.
I just watch them play, man. I don't follow their life stories.
I don't know, maybe somewhere out there in Twitch you have a stalker who wants to follow your life story. You know, everyone at some point does that to a certain extent. But, okay, enough about creepy stalky, you know, Twilight love stories and all that stuff. But LGD first picking up the Rubik with the Sand King. NewBee, they did go with the Warlock and will actually second pick the Legion Commander. Whew. Okay, I know in the previous game you talked like you were a bit skeptical about the Sand King pick. You said Chinese teams have a tendency to lean towards this hero, but not so much in Western teams. So far, have you been... I guess it's safe to say you weren't that impressed with the Sand King pick in the previous game.
To be honest, it was more of a team thing. I don't think the hero was bad by any means. It was just like the rotations of the team didn't work. Mostly because NewBee had a really good read on the game and they played around the windows LFY wanted to do things. They anticipated and played around like 2 minutes ahead. It was great. And then the hero just got like a slower blink timer, and it could only do so much when you were behind in the early game.
5 seconds remaining.
But I do really like what NewBee has this game. Warlock is just one of those heroes. It's kind of like CM. As a core, you feel really good to play with this hero because it keeps you topped, so you don't have to worry about sustain anywhere near as much as a carry. The counter initiation and the bonds just makes you feel a lot safer as well. So your damage gets doubled, tripled, whatever the numbers are, and if anyone goes on you, you just drop a rock and you've got the time to assess. You can rage, BKB, whatever it is your hero can do. And LC is just a really, really strong hero right now, I feel like. Especially with some kind of big AoE to back up the duel initiation, teams are not going to want to go too near the targets that get dueled, which makes your initiation easier. And the heroes lane really well together as well.
Turn to ban.
Alright, TA ban and TB. Okay, I have to ask one thing. Like, maybe I don't understand the hero well enough, but regarding the TA pick, because we saw at the Kiev Major, this hero really burst into the scene. It was crazy. I don't think there were any significant buffs to her or any nerfs for that matter, but why do we see like so many TA pickups or TA bans more than we used to?
The hero just fits really well right now. It's a hero that does well in nearly all lane matchups. If it has a bad lane, you just go to the jungle, you farm quicker than you would if you were in the lane. It gives you Roshan potential. The amount of scouting you get from the traps if you place them well is obscene. And it carries games. I actually think it's one of the best mid laners you can go for at the moment. It's just that it is counter-pickable in certain situations.
I also see it like it's a really good pick. Like it synergizes really nicely with like a lot of heroes. Slaughter, basically damage amp or the armor negation, and at the same time, I would say it's also a pretty decent pick against Lina.
Goes both ways, I think. But the reason LGD get rid of it here is they want their lifestealer. They picked it up. Third, they banned the 2 heroes that counter it as cores for most. Can't really manfight a Terrorblade when he just turns it around, and similar thing with TA. She will just win the manfight against lifestealers, providing she's not initiated on.
Alright, so... Okay, right now, for the lifestealer pick up a bit early, but we haven't seen that many pause for Slaughters today at least. Is it likely that we see this Sand King planted off lane and we actually go for a Slaughter?
Radiant team pick.
Maybe not so much the Slaughter, but I could see the Sand King playing the 4.
Not the 3.
Sorry, the 3, yeah. Again, it goes both ways. Like, this hero is very flexible. It all comes down to what LGD feel like they're going to get out of the lane. As a 4 position right now, I wouldn't feel too good because if Warlock and LC go into my lane where my Lifestealer and Rubik are, I don't feel like I can do anything as a Sand King. So you're probably just jungling, and depending how strong NewBee's safe lane is, maybe you can go there.
NewBee's turn
Whereas
to
as a
pick.
free position, I'd feel a bit more comfortable in how my game looks in the early stages. And then they can pick up a 4 position that actually has impact on the lanes.
Especially since Sand King is a
10
4. I've always
seconds
had doubts about the hero putting him into 4 because if you don't get levels, your
5
burst strike
seconds
range is
remaining.
so short and you have to rely on like smokes to get a really good
Reserve
gank off,
time.
this kind of thing. And LFY actually going back for the Shadow Fiend. So the Super Shadow Fiend. This is basically a negative armor strat in its own way. Presence of the Dark Lord. Lifestealer most probably will go for a Desolator. And I still feel like the Slaughter pick might be viable here.
It could definitely be viable. But
But-
right now, they're just looking for this. Shadow Fiend's going to be the unstoppable force. He goes into a lane, goes to push your tower. The Sand
Radiant
King
team
initiates
back.
with a Lifestealer, starts a fight off. Then they have these 2 tanky cores that have a lot of right-click damage. And ideally get to connect all of it. But that's why NewBee have these heroes like Venge, Invoker, LC to the same extent. They have
seconds
ways to
remaining.
stop you closing gaps or make the gaps happen.
5 seconds
They
remaining.
can play very aloof in fights, which makes it very awkward for LFY.
Reserve time.
Because then their Sand King bomb, like, it has to be stun and kill the hero. Otherwise, it's getting swapped out. You're getting tornadoed. The Lifestealer's getting dueled. And depending how the LC is, he might be winning those duels. I feel like NewBee just have
NewBee's
good
turn
answers
to
right
ban.
now.
I'm also really afraid of who he's going to duel. I mean, early on, I guess, dueling a Shadow Fiend or Rubik, those are the easier targets, or even a Sand King, but you don't really want to duel a Lifestealer, do you?
It depends. Like,
Maybe-
Invoker
maybe he's,
giving
like,
you
really
the
low.
Sunstrike damage makes a huge difference.
5 seconds
It all
remaining.
depends on the stage of the game.
NewBee's turn
It
to
does.
pick.
Alright, so newbie, do we see that Venge hard carry, something similar to the burning thing? Or do we actually still see this as a I don't think it'll be a 5. I feel like this Venge should be a pause 1 because it seems kind of weird putting your Warlock
10
into 4
seconds remaining.
when he's mainly played as a 5.
5 seconds
I think the
remaining.
main thing NewBee want, whether it's Venge as a core or another hero, is something that's not too
Reserve
farm
time.
intensive. Because LC likes to get a lot of farm. She's a hero that can make plays, sure, but if you just have a Blink and Blade Mail at like 30 minutes, you don't feel happy at all. And Invoker, similar thing. He doesn't want to be moving around making plays. He wants to be using space. So whichever core they do go for, and Venge would probably be a good fit for this, is something that doesn't require too much space and can make plays.
Radiant team pick.
And picking up a hero that allows them to, in some ways, deal with Lifestealer, give some ways to scout Sand King blinks in the trees with the sigil, ways to deal with BKB TPs, which is incredibly important, even though they
10
already had like
seconds
3
remaining.
ways. It just means more heroes can deal with
5
Lifestealer on
seconds
different
remaining.
lanes. I really like it.
So does
Reserve
Tuskar
time.
suit your criteria about not being too farm intensive?
Oh, well, it puts Avenge into the 1 role, which suits. And it's also a really, really strong lane. Like, if the Warlock goes bottom with the LC, Tusk and Venge is going to beat most dual lanes. With the Darkseer coming out, you might decide the Warlock's better suited in the safe lane. We'll see how NewBee defer their resources.
Okay, so the Darkseer follow-up, I guess that's okay with the Lifestealer as well. Ion Shell Surge combo, a nice vac into a Requiem or Epicenter. I mean, those are always the dream scenarios. That's just you know, some of the team fight synergy which is available to them. NewBee as well, nothing too shabby. They could even do something funky, a snowball together with KP for the duel. That's always
10
fun to
seconds
watch.
remaining.
And yeah, it will be the carry Vengeful Spirit. And SC
5
and the Invoker,
seconds
okay, one of the good things about this as well, like you said, the deal setup for Sunstrikes. Venge also has, you know, pretty good mana pool, I guess, with the stun for Sunstrike setup onto the top lane.
Yeah, the lineup has a lot of synergy. The lanes, it all just kind of comes together and it plays well at most stages of the game, I think. That being said, LFY have a similar thing. With the Darkseer, the Sand King is a much better position for. It enables you to not worry too much about your level deficits if you do have that, because Surge will always get you in range. You don't have to worry about like jug spins or rages coming out because those heroes aren't on NewBee's side. So you can always land your stuns.
Wait. Okay, wait, is this a bug, by the way? I have to ask regarding the Team Tower Showdown, because I'm pretty sure some of these players have like level 1000 or level 10,000 compendium or something.
I don't think it shows in lobbies, which would make sense.
Prepare for battle.
Because you know some of these towers look really crazy.
Yeah, those are the maxed out towers. It's just a bug, I guess.
Maybe. I don't have a max out tower. Oh no, there we go. The voice lines. I've been waiting for one of those to actually pop up. Now we need one of them to go with like the Chinese Sunstrikes. I know they have like some of the Chinese lines where the direct translation for Sunstrike into English, at least from what they put in Chinese, is just basically Skyfire.
Sounds good.
I don't see the link. It's okay. Like some of these direct translations for certain heroes also don't make sense. I think like Medusa is mermaid or something. Slark is like little fish. Slaughter is big fish.
Yeah, I've heard the little fish, big fish thing. I think that's really cool, actually.
We should have.
We should
something
just
like that.
rename them.
We should. Actually, I would like to also learn like for other countries, other languages. Maybe they could have something similar for French or even maybe in Southeast Asia, Malay or Tagalog. Renaming those would be fun. And this, I wouldn't mind even changing like the language of my game to Spanish, for example. I wonder what Shadowfiend is in Spanish. But alright, here we are.
El Diablo or something? I don't know.
El Diablo.
That's my guess.
I mean, okay, given with the Arcana, he does look a bit like Ghost Rider. He kind of does. Look at him, he's all orangey and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm gonna get flamed by someone for that, I'm sure, but
that's alright, man.
I'm a typical Englishman. Like everyone else speaks my language, so I don't have to learn yours, and I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it's the same way in Singapore too. English is the first language for most, but you call it your mother tongue, like Malay or plenty of other languages out there. But alright, so is there any draft you would favor in particular between the two teams right now? Do you think LFY can have a good enough draft to force it to game 3?
I think it's a pretty even game, honestly. I think the execution's going to be the main thing. Personally, I like NewBee's draft, just mainly the invoker factor. And the teamfight control just feels a bit easier as the game goes on. LFY have an earlier peak where they get like the Darkseer mech, Blink on the Sand King, and they can kind of blow heroes up. But the later the game goes, the less feasible that becomes, and that's when NewBee kind of start to shine. All that being said, LFY are off to a really good start in their lanes.
Yeah, SF is actually getting a lot more CS, especially the beginning part. SC, well, he's going for your Rex Exort. Pretty standard, although sometimes you do see the occasional Quas Exorts ever since the talent change. And I like this bottom lane, dual lane coming out from NewBee because you get Faith and KP together. KP just cannot die in this lane, or should not die. Especially if the PMS and the Shadow Word heal. So, if anything, they could cause a lot of pressure here in this lane, especially since they don't have to worry about the top. Like, Darkseer is basically just abandoned lane, gone to the jungle.
Yeah, they're playing the efficiency game here, and I really like this. Level 1 Darkseer in that lane doesn't really do much.
KP, I said he shouldn't be dying, but he may be dying right here. They have a lift. Oh, KP's running the other way. That PMS doing so much work, but the body blocks. The body blocks with the Ion Shell Faith. Oh, that's going to be first blood going to DDC. What a play coming out from the Darkseer. Perfect rotation with that rune.
Yeah, it's nice to see him able to get active. Normally the junglers don't get too much done without the runes. It's still better that the Warlock dies than the LC though.
For sure. And
that makes this lane a bit better for LFY. Like the faster the Lifestealer gets levels and phase boots, the easier it is to trade hits with the LC. And then the pressure from this dual lane mitigates pretty quickly, if anything goes right for you. And now that like the Daxia gets his levels, they're gonna go for this double stack.
Kaka's been scouted
They
out.
can clear this.
Gonna bump to Afu. Yep, they're even going around for him. He has a burst strike. He's gonna put a ward down, but I'm sure they know about that. So Kaka now going ring around the cliff. Where are you going?
I like this actually, snowball to the creeps.
Oh, but the surge, he's not running anywhere. Oh. Okay, now he gets the burst strike
now he
out
just TP's out.
with that
Oh
iron
no,
shell.
he's gonna die.
The iron shell damage is way too much. So you get a bit of gold going to both ways to, you know, your Sand King and your Darkseer. But at the same time, at least Kaka, he gets the D ward down, so that's something.
And they're gonna know something's around the area though. Or at least you'd hope so. They have a sentry on the Sand King.
Oh, they want to go here into Super. They have a snowball as well. You're not running anywhere with the alacrity. That should be the kill onto Super.
Oh, the miss!
Oh no, this could be a disaster, Kaka. You just spawned. The caustic finale damage should be enough to explode him. He dies. Yes, all the slow. Afu says, hello. Nice kill.
No, that is a feels bad, man. And now this Warlock's in some trouble as well. He's gonna get triple raised, probably. It doesn't even need the third one. That just went from really good looking to really shit in 5 seconds.
LFY. Things are just
That's just
going
bad luck, man.
It is. The ganks looked
I
really
wish-
good as well, like at the beginning for NewBee, especially in the mid.
I wish they'd remove uphill miss from the game and just make it like some flat damage reduction or something, because situations like that are extremely tilting.
Oh, they're going again to Super this time. They will not miss. Super nowhere to go. Actually, he's gonna man up onto SCCC, almost bringing him down to 100 HP, but the Fate Ball comes out, cancelling the salve. So DDC says, nope, suck it. Bottom lane, KP taking a bit of harassment damage from Monet, but nothing too big. And Mugi just gets to free farm. I mean, Darkseer as well has been free farming the whole time. He's 27-0, and not to mention he did get an assist with the earlier First Blood. Do you want to go into Kaka? Not really. Lift's already up. Used. But Afu is smoked up. He may be thinking about going into the Invoker one more time.
I think it's a really hard kill if the Rubik isn't there though. The Tusk will probably scout the smoke as well. And meanwhile this just frees up the LC to basically free farm the bottom lane and zone this life stealer.
Afu, does he go into Kaka? Hello? You've been spotted, and just like that, they dodge the gank. Darkseer, he knows what's happening. The side lane and the middle lanes are basically full of action, so he returns back to his lane. He's level 6, top of the CS, even taking the bounty rune, so he's gonna be okay. Might think about going here into Kaka. That Iron Shell is doing quite a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, early in the game, the high levels in this is insane amounts of damage. It's just about being able to connect it, which is what the Sand King's job is. And they could do a lot of damage to this Venge.
Oh, magic missile up onto him, going for the snowball, but Afu is ready, already waiting for the bar strike. There we go, the double, and this will be completely baited out. Mugi might be dying here to Afu. He has a bar strike in theory, doesn't want to overcommit for that, and actually with the creeper pushing out, the TP's been cancelled. Now they will go for this. Mugi needs to salve up right now, but looks like he will run. He will take the safe option with the face boost as well. He's gonna get out. But we haven't talked about Super yet. Like, this guy's had great CS in this lane, although it's evened out. And what do you think? Like, I believe he got a kill earlier on, right?
Yeah, he got the kill on the Tusk when they went to dive him. This is kind of what you'd expect. Bit more out of the lane for the Shadow Fiend.
On top lane, they want to go into DDC. Rubik, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be there. That ice shot giving them good vision. Here comes Afu. Slow, and even with the bar strike, he was right in the middle of it. And he's also going to deny himself to the neutral creeps. What a play from Afu. He has the mana for the turnaround actually if he wants to. First strike, depth damage, Darkseer is on the way. Mugi does not have any mana at all, and this should be pretty much a kill. I don't see Kaka getting out of this. No mana whatsoever. I guess maybe if the stick charges, might have enough mana for a snowball to buy himself a bit more time, but there was no point anyways. So he gets his arcane boots and he's happy.
Yeah, he just has to accept the fact he is very, very dead.
I'll take your tribute.
And so far, the game's looking really nice for LFY. The Sand King's getting involved in a lot of action early, which is one of the struggles of having this hero as a 4 position. The Lifestealer's farming really nicely bottom, even though he's getting dual laned and the Rubik's been moving around quite a bit.
Oh, they want to pressure Kaka, even using the vacuum to break the trees. Kaka, they put down the wall as well. I don't think you want to walk into this. He's going to go for the snowball play. Where's he going? Actually, really, really low. He needs a bit more backup. Super's coming in from the back line. He has the haste rune. You're not running anywhere. Hello, my friend. And then, ooh, hold on. Alright, now he needs to run for this. One more right click. Super's going to get it. So, very casual rotation. And now he's just going to clear the creep wave.
No, it's really well done by LFY as well. Because when the Rubik placed the ward bottom, they saw the LCT game.
Oh, the swap out. Ooh, quick thinking from Moogie.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, smart player.
Meanwhile, LFY looking around for a straggler. Not going to find anything. Should be some damage into the tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, Invoker going to be very, very happy with this middle lane of free farm at the moment.
It's still a huge net gain for LFY though. Like, if they get this tower and you don't get one yourself, you're not happy as a team. And if they can start setting the pace of the game where they're taking the tier 1 towers, especially once the Lifestealer starts moving around, it's just going to be really scary for them. Because currently their Warlock isn't going to be 6 at 10 minutes. He needs for Tomb and still like a full level. And the Tusk is also suffering. Everywhere he goes, it's just like he's met by Sand King and a Darkseer, and it doesn't do too much for him.
Shadow Fiend now level 8, gonna start building up those souls. They might think about going here into Faith, but I think he just wants to go back to the middle lane. Okay, no, he's heading back to the top. They have a lift into the razors. Should be a quick and easy kill here. So DDC looking to him. They're pinging him out. Faith immediately gets out. This ward over here, the daytime vision. Oh no, DDC into the Sunstrike. One more right click. Moogie gets himself a bit fancy gold. Looking for the snowball. Ooh.
Millimeters.
Ooh, that was really, really close. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was dead. I thought that was a cancel for sure.
I'd have bet on it cancelling as well, but look, what do we know?
Sometimes in these moments, you just gotta have balls of steel and make things happen. Right, so Monet basically uncontested in this bottom lane. The net worth, no surprise, he's actually in the top half. But Darkseer, of course, once again, you know, it just came back to the previous game. Like, he was on top, dragged out a bit, but now they will go for a smoke play. They want to get this Invoker. Well, Tusk isn't in the area anymore. This could be bad for the Invoker.
Yeah, and they've got the detection as well, so if they connect, this is a very dead.
They want to go for the Surge, Bar Strike initiation, looking for the lift. Invoker is dead. The TPs are coming in, but it's too late. The damage has already been done. Oh, they're gonna search for a bit more. Darkseer, he wants some kills. He has a vacuum if he needs to. He's gonna push him back. And that would be the end of that. The fortification's gonna come out. So tier 1 tower at least will survive a bit more. But the swap comes in right now. Vengeful Spirit, not your smartest idea so far. Not a Bar Strike, and of course a big rock onto 3 heroes with the Fatal Bonds and all. But okay, we need a Sunstrike. Maybe where's the Sunstrike? Invoker just came out. And actually, yes, SC will get super. Snowball forward. Will he get the kill here? No, not really, but he will find DDC. Not gonna die to the tower hit. And Monet actually gonna kill off KP. A bit of help from Afu, but that was messy. That was very, very messy.
Considering the deficit for NewBee though, they got a good use out of their first rock. They stopped their tier 1 getting pushed. They got a core kill. I'd be pretty happy if I was them. The Invoker got the gold for sniping the SF. And unfortunately they lose their LC, but this is not an easy situation for them right now. They really need to stall the game out.
Alright, so like at the same time Midas completed, he's going for the drums first. I always still face this dilemma, or rather doubt. Like, do you really want to go for the drums first if you're not going to be involved? Because we've seen, I think at least on Sunday for Epicenter, Invokers going for the drums and then afterwards into the Ags, but or rather it doesn't really pay off.
I've never really been a fan of the drums, but I'm not an Invoker player. I know plenty of people who swear by the item. I know people who prefer Yules. I know people who prefer straight Ags. It's just player preference. I think drums gets a lot of value if you're actually able to fight, as you said, but in this situation it's just like a survivability tool, I suppose. It's an intermediary item that is built up of much smaller components
And what do you
instead
think
of trying to save thousands of gold.
Okay, I just realized that Monette the Lifestealer has actually queued up a Midas as well. So is this really a good idea? Like, he's basically challenging NewBee late in this raid. It's not so much about scaling since he's had absolute free farm in the bottom lane.
Think of it this way: when the game starts picking up, Lifestealer has his Vessel, Sand King now has his Blink. He's not going to be right-clicking creeps anywhere near as much as he is at the moment. So this is a tool to keep his gold up.
Hold on, the shot.
His experience.
Oh, doesn't really lock the Lifestealer in.
And then the hero still benefits from the attack speed.
Okay.
And he has an armlet. He doesn't really need anything else to fight right now. If he got half of a Deso instead, yeah, he might peak a bit better, but right now they know they're stronger. They don't need him to spend 2,000 gold on an item to win fights. They need, in their minds, like some kind of security or faster ramping to the late game. I don't necessarily think it's a must, but I like the idea because he's going to have a lot of downtime while this Sand King moves around the map.
Well, they are looking to make something happen, but the observe board at the stairs pretty much helps NewBee dodge the gank, whatever potential gank was coming out from Afu and the Lifestealer. So we'll see if they can make something happen top. It's going to be a 3-on-3, so they need to jump the right target. Dark Sister is going to YOLO in with Surge, looking for one person.
All this vision though.
I'm pretty sure the Tuskar saw that. Yeah, the Tuskar saw that. They know that the Darkseer and the Sand King are right there. So they show themselves, push out the wave, and they just TP out. Meanwhile, bottom lane, SC gonna try and get some damage onto the tier 1 tower. The TP now will come in from Afu. He's just looking for the blink initiation. Trying for a flank maneuver, but NewBee, they sense the danger, just immediately get out. And now they want to try and take something top maybe. They know the Darkseer is kinda around. They bring the Vengeful Spirit in. They do not have vision there. KP YOLOing in. He's gonna try for a duel, but doesn't have the range nor a blink dagger.
He's working towards it, but that's really well done from NewBee. A lot of teams would not be able to dodge that gank, or they'd try and maybe bait them to dive the tier 2, and with how strong LFY are at the moment, that would probably go horribly for NewBee. Instead, they completely dodged the gank. They wasted the Lifestealer's time.
No, hold on, the blink bow strike onto Kaka. They won't get anything else. Looking for the raises. Oh, but now he has a shrine. SC meanwhile will get the kill onto the Darkseer. That right click from Super proving to be too much damage. But I think we're going to fave. They have the bow strikes. They have the raises. That will be 2 kills going the way of LFY. But of course,
and
SC.
there's a shrine down as well.
I think he got a like what? How do you get that kill into? What's the Sunstrike for sure, right?
I actually didn't see that because I was watching the chase middle.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I think that was a dual Sunstrike, so that's why. Because KP now has plus 10 damage, so that makes more sense.
That is the logical assumption.
Alright, so we still have an Epicenter not yet used by Afu. They could be thinking about going for it, and Kaka doesn't need to be a bit too careful. You use a snowball like that, you don't have an escape mechanism. SC gonna TP to the middle lane. They want to get some push out, and LFY basically does enjoy this downtime, go back to farming, pick up some more core items.
I think the downtime favors NewBee overall though. They're the team that wants the game to go a bit later, so Invokers gets his levels, his spells get better, and he can start controlling the team fights. And especially if NewBee are the ones to like set the tempo of the game by a smoke like this connecting, it sets LFY back a lot, because they are so much stronger right now. They need to use their advantage instead of farming.
They might find a Darkseer. They know the Darkseer is over there. Does he go for the TP out? He has to know that something's up. SC by TP, KP, Blink immediately
Oh.
going for the duel. They need the duel. There we go. Surge is not going to save you into the Silence Fake. Bang! And SC gets himself a kill.
That's perfect. Like him getting the gold.
Great execution, and DDC coming to the top lane. It looks like they want to try and
Radiant's
fight
middle
here.
tower
But
is under
Afu
attack.
won't find the burst strike. Oh, dodges it just barely. And now with the shards to block Kaka. Nowhere to go. Oh, they still get the vision on the lift. Perfect. Monet actually cutting the trees with the Culling Blade, and that will be Kaka going down.
That's still a really bad trade for LFY. They lose a core hero, they rotate everyone to the top lane, only get one support for it. If they get the tower, it's okay for them, but it's still time that NewBee can gain from this. And they get a lot of gold from like killing the Darkseer, because this tower would die anyway if the Darkseer's here. But instead, they get a favorable trade, and they get a bit more time to push out the other lanes.
I just
And the
like
Evokers...
the bit of teamwork where Monet just cut the tree so that your Rubik actually had vision for the telekinesis. So at least, even though it's not a favorable trade, you do get something at least out of it.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
It's high level stuff. The Shard TP was really smart as well. I'm not sure if the Quelling Blade made the difference, but if it did,
Dire's middle tower
some next
is
level
under
stuff.
attack.
I think it did because the telekinesis only came after the tree was cut, and I don't think he had vision for it. And I just want to say SC almost has his Aghanim Scepter in basically after this camp. So,
Yeah.
alright, game on, game on.
Bench has a solar as well now, so they're actually starting to build their first round of items. They're still not at a point where they can use it in like a 5-on-5 engagement.
One more time.
LFY is still a lot stronger, but they
Oh,
can
get the Roshan.
yeah, they can hopefully find like a small skirmish while the Invoker pushes out waves and maybe plays a bit of bait. And this is kind of where LFY need to not split up and get into the wrong mindset.
But they get some really good wards. Meanwhile, the smoke, even though it probably won't yield a kill. And I just like what both these teams are doing. Look at LFY's vision. They see so much. They look into the enemy jungle. They know no one's there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
And they
attack.
pretty much are dodging that side of the map. Except for the Darkseer, who's just going to lay out an Ion Shell and back out. Unless, of course, KP finds that Blink duel. He might be getting it.
You don't want to go under a tier 2. Especially not on this hero.
Oh, he's gone for it. But the Blink, the vacuum. It's going to cancel the TP. What are you doing, KP? I think he knew he fucked up. Oh, no. Where are you running? They have the lift. They have everything. Give the kill to Monet. Space created, I guess.
I don't know, I can't fathom the logic behind that blink, but it doesn't really matter that much.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
LFY is still in like really good spot, and now they can use this to smoke behind their Shadow Fiend, take control of this tier 2 area. The NewBee aren't really going to be able to fight this, and they have no split push going right now. So this is exactly the position LFY want,
Dire's middle
where they're
tower
caging
is under
NewBee in,
attack.
and there's no gold going the other way. They're just the ones setting the
Dire's
tempo.
middle tower has fallen.
And they have the Aegis for another 2 minutes,
The ward
3
down,
minutes.
immediate power strike, taxi damage, and bang, down goes Kaka. So of course you get the magic wisdom to Alpha, but that was it. And now the EMP plus the meteor combo. It's gonna do just a bit enough damage, but not anything to kill anyone off. So NewBee still holding the high ground, and of course LFY, unlike Anakin, they will not do anything stupid to try and contest this. Maybe try for the tier 2, or I don't know, wait for the next Roshan. I don't think anything's gonna be happening with this Aegis. Which
No,
one?
they want the tier 2. And then it's up to NewBee if anything happens with the Aegis. NewBee definitely don't want to have anything to do with that though. If they somehow get caught, then it's not in their plan.
I think we've only seen like one rock this game. We haven't seen a second yet after that team fight in the middle lane. So, and obviously NewBee, they don't want to be using this to commit onto an Aegis for the like on the enemy team. So, okay, I guess you get to tier 1. I mean, Tuskar is here to basically just stall. That's all he can do right now. But it's not like he can clear a creep wave by himself.
No, they need to be back here, and they realize that now.
Radiant's middle tower is
But
under
Super, he's gonna
attack.
get a couple of hits in. KP, what you gonna do? Shots. KP, he's thinking about going for it right now. Oh, the swap. Oh, nicely done. They burn the Aegis on Super.
And they have
This is
shots
big.
as well.
How do you even start this fight? You need to pop vacuum something. And they're just gonna right click Super right up there. But the vacuum into the wall, 2 heroes, Super not gonna pop the Requiem of Souls. Maximum damage coming up, but not really. The Epicenter's gonna fly in from our people. It's not gonna do that much. And triple from the Rock. Hello?
Stolen Rock.
Oh no, that was really big from DDC. But okay, down goes
Doesn't
Super.
matter, though.
And now they're gonna run. LGD.FY caught in a very awkward position. They definitely blast ball kill up DDC. Snowball turned in just to make sure. And of course, they don't see that Afu. They're gonna bring someone back home with him. Of course, Darkseid, of course, will go down. 3 heroes dying. Overextending there. But of course, NewBee, they set the trap. And LGD.FY were baited into it. Perfect.
That was insane plays from them. And the only reason that's possible is thanks to these little shrines. Because after they pop the Aegis, the BKB Requiem doesn't quite get cancelled by the Rock. They get, I think it was a triple vac, stun, Requiem, 1 or 2 nukes. They would die there if it wasn't for the shrine. And then they can't follow up and win the fight. But because they were added, this is why pushing high ground is so hard now. That was a pretty big gold lead on top of an Aegis
Radiant's
with
middle
heroes that
tower
peak at
is
this,
under attack.
maybe not peak, but they play really well at this kind of time. And they just got completely thwarted because of the swap, putting the Aegis so deep.
And just like that, Mugi, he's gonna get a Midas. This is gonna help him scale much better. I mean, he has his own fair share of downtime. Very nicely done to actually go for the swap, which really cornered Super, and LGD.FY were forced into very, very unwilling position. But that gold swing still took a pretty significant dip. Like, it dropped like maybe 3,000, almost 4.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Blinking into illusion, so the taxi kill is not going to be there. And yeah, I actually thought I was crazy for a moment there when I saw that a Warlock Golem connect onto the side of NewBee. I was like, I'm pretty sure they had the Warlock, but thanks for carrying me out there, saying that the Rubik was the one to steal the Golem.
It's hard to catch everything in these fights.
That was some really good stuff though. And alright, now Mugi and Kaka, you need to be on the run.
Rest in peace,
Darkseid.
Venge.
Venge?
Just
Punching?
leave him, Kaka. Leave him.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that's even better. That's so much
TP
better,
out.
actually.
The selfless support, even using the shards to block them off. The selfless support, somebody give this guy a medal for his services.
That's the kind of stuff they need to be doing, because otherwise this Venge is not going to scale at all. Like, it's really hard for them to get out on the map. Invoker, it's really easy. You cast your spells, you've got your Forged Spirits, on top of the talent. But for the other heroes, like, it's why they're so poor. The LC is not going to feel safe hitting waves. The Venge,
Radiant's
similar
top
position.
tower is under
She
attack.
just happens to have, like, a much better KDA, which is where the gold difference is coming from.
You need to be making these kind of plays as well, because yeah, even though Venge can kind of transition from a core into a really poor support as well, NewBee just don't have the luxury of, like, a Boba Trian where he has a Midas, he has items like the map hack eggs. So in this case, I really like the save as well. It was really, really worth it for Kaka to save the Venge. And okay, enough about NewBee side. Let's talk about LGD.FY. Like, Super, he's actually going for a Lincoln Sphere. He's gone for a very defensive item, but is this really necessary against the Venge swap?
I think it's more for the duel. They just don't have ways on most of the heroes to pop this, so it kind of makes you immortal when you have your BKB. In theory. I don't know, I feel like I'd rather see a butterfly.
I was thinking maybe a Satanic or a Skadi, just something which could be a bit of best of both worlds, but I can see the butterfly as well, especially since you're going up against Legion Commander. And the Venge, the right click does kind of hurt a bit more towards the end.
Yeah, it's like once you pop BKB, what do you have to worry about? This minuscule amount of right click damage, because it's not that much at the moment. An Alacrity Invoker is somewhat scary, but if you have BKB, you're going to win the man fight against him. And he's not going to man fight you anyway. So the Lincolns is pretty much to deal with the duel. And if he's seeing that as a big issue, I don't see a reason for him to not itemize towards that. From a spectator's perspective, it's really hard for us to see how he feels about the game. If he feels the duel is the most threatening thing, then this item will have a lot more value than something like a butterfly would. And it's very easy for me to say like, yeah, you should just buy a butterfly because it's a value item, blah blah blah. And then maybe he gets dueled one fight, it's completely irrelevant, and then the Lincolns would have paid off. We shall see.
Smoke from LFY. They will head into the direction of NewBee. They want to force the issue. They want to get a big fight. They need to make something happen. They may just bump into the Legion commander. But alright, Super sees them and now they need to back out. Finding KP, but an immediate blink to the east. He's gonna be alright. Looking for any TP cancels. No, they will not find anything at all. And Kaka also gets out.
Space, boys.
Plenty of space and very nicely done from the ward. So they get that, the sneaky ward over there placed by NewBee, and that means they get to dodge more ganks in future, any future camping, and they just go back to farming. Plenty of space created, and they still have a tier 1 to work with to, boost the team's economy in general.
Yeah, that's the kind of ward LFY need to be looking at soon, I think, because the game's deteriorating into split push. And they have decent catcher as a Sand King, but the problem is they're going into blind spots all the time. And then it just becomes... It's not luck, but you have to have a really good read on the situation. And in that case, they just guessed wrong.
Alright, so we have ourselves here one really intense game. SC he has been farming a ton, top of the net worth, but we haven't seen him provide that wow factor from the Invoker just yet. Is this okay? Like, what else do you think he needs to do, or what item does he need to go for? Is the BKB really the play here?
Yeah, BKB makes a lot of sense, because he's going to need to stay in these fights and do some damage through things other than spells. But as far as his play goes, like, Invoker's not a hero that wows you early in a lot of situations. He's at the point now where his combos are really threatening. It's just that he doesn't want a team fight, so we're not going to see that for a while. I imagine when the Roche comes, if NewBee feel they can contest, we'll see something. It's that or when they defend the high ground.
That was a bit too much. I'm not sure it's too much, but that was a bit weird. He just like put the Forge Spirits, Alacrity, and the Drum Charge to get whatever damage he can. But hey, I guess if you're not going to use it for your team, use it for the Forge. Tier 2 towers on down.
Man. They got a glyph.
I think Kaka's actually waiting to use try to cancel a TP on Monet, perhaps potentially. Yes, a blink dagger.
That is a play. I don't think it's gonna work, but
just playing around with Monet. And now they're even TPing. They want to find him. Afu, he's found Kaka. Oh, Kaka.
Oh, the shot.
It's alright. The shot's not gonna help him. He's going straight for the TP out, looking for the Sunstrike. Gets out. Afu. Getting toasted just a tiny tad bit. And SC is just going to clear out the middle wave. Meanwhile, bottom, that's where Mugi KP. Hold on, might be thinking about going for the duel here. He's trying to bait out the Darkseer Surge. But they're pinging him out. What they do not know is that the Sand King and the Rubik might be heading in that direction as well. So they use the scan, and now they know Darkseer is not going to fall for the bait. Really nicely done from LFY.
Same from NewBee as well, though. Like, in that situation, that's what they were looking to set up. A situation where one of the heroes from LFY come down, they use these two cores, and they kill them quickly. If they went on that, they may have gotten the kill. They also may have just died with two heroes because the supports were in blink range.
Oh, NewBee, they may have found it, they already popped it, and now they will go straight for the duel into the Sunstrike. The rock comes out as well, and actually, no, hold on, -10. Oh, +10, sorry, going the way to Super. And that's a really, really sad duel for him. The shot's kind of blocking him out, the Hurricane back, and of course the media coming in, they want to kill off Monet. The vacuum catching 3 into the wall, and now the Requiem of Souls comes out, and everyone from the side of NewBee's going to drop 4 heroes go down with the epicenter to boot, and that will find them the perfect Aegis opening.
Yeah, if the Shadow Fiend doesn't get the BKB there, that fight looks so different. That was really, really clutch. And now NewBee are in this situation where they could have just given them the Aegis. Instead, they tried to fight. They were really, really close. Now they're going to have to burn the most important hero's buyback to try and hold this.
And okay, yeah, your Invoker buys back. On the bright side, also Legion Command's coming up in 5, but they do not have the Warlock ulti. So how do they hold here? What do they need to do? I mean, okay, yeah, Tornado comes out. And Monet's like, I don't care. EMP.
They have good deep push,
All
like
his
they can
mana.
spam the waves.
Hold on. Try to throw a burrow. This upheaval is doing a ton of damage actually, and actually, ooh, they might even kill Monet here. Look at the Sunstrike. That right click damage of SCCC is doing quite a fair bit. The media's gonna come out, and the vacuum catches too. So Monet getting tower and KP. Trapping Monet one more time. SC, they need to kill him off right here. No, Monet's like, I'm nowhere near done. I want my barracks. Tornado flies out again, only connecting to one. SC needs to do a bit more. The EMP is now going to fly out, but that's all he's going to do is Monet just rages up. The golden lifesteal just going to walk out of there. They've gotten what they wanted, and Objective Gaming, they back off. Very, very disciplined play here from LFY.
Yeah, managing to keep the Aegis there just means the threat is going to stay. They can take these shrines, they can go again in a different lane. They're not too close to any like really big items. If they want to use the Aegis, I don't think Shadow Fiend's going to farm like 2,000 gold in this window.
I have to ask, does the Venge pick really hurt NewBee a lot here? Because right now I'm looking at him. As a core compared to the other cores, he's extremely poor. He's very underleveled. He's level 15, he's in the second half. I mean, even your enemy Rubik is above him in terms of the EXP. Would you
Oh, it does not feel good
yeah, it
for
doesn't feel good
NewBee.
at all.
But I wouldn't say it's because of the bench. I think it's just their early game got manhandled. And the reason they had the Venge is so their early game was slightly stronger. And instead, now the game's pretty much all on the Invoker. Which is kind of how they draft anyway, like they almost always put all the pressure on this guy. Unfortunately, KP's had a really lackluster game as well.
Oh,
So.
Warriors punch into Monet. They want to at least burn off the Aegis. Now the swap comes out. Enemy, of course, into the duel. But the burst strike's going to be there. And KP just going to go down, feeding away more duel damage to Monet. And he's just going to casually eat at the golem. Deafening Blast is going to fly out, but the vacuum catching two heroes.
He's still not dead.
Not going to land. Alright, so NewBee holding on just barely. And Monet still won't lose that Aegis. He refuses to give it away. Now he's coming back in. Guess Golden Cosmetic does pay off. Tornado's gonna come out, but of course the armlet toggles. He's gonna start farming it up. Warriors punch, flying into Monet, but this is just not enough damage in Kaka. He doesn't even care, he's just tickling Warriors tickle maybe. Now the epicenter comes in, but that's a complete fluke. We're gonna go Barrel Strike onto Mugi. And of course now the Aegis is gonna finally pop. And Kaka snowballs back. The right clicks of Super is proving way too much as SE finally kills off Afu. Super the VK is still Faith will go down. And nothing he can do. The Viper is gonna come on out from the Warlock and SE will be forced to go walk away. Gem is on the floor. Super now gonna bash and try and take down that tier 3 tower. SC, Tornado, catching one. Oh no, the swap for Mugi. Now of course I'm just running to the EMP. Maybe to get some damage out, but there's no buyback on these two heroes. Definitely Blast will finally bring down Super, holding the melee barracks. Upheaval doing quite a fair bit. And there's Triple C if they're lacking to try and bring this one person down, but no,
that's not the
KP,
duel.
that was not the play, giving away second duel to Monet. And that's gonna be now plus 28 as Monet will start bashing away onto this melee barracks. They'll be the top lane gone.
Oh, they looked like they were almost able to hold, then the duel comes out and I think they realized that was not the play as soon as they made it.
Oh, he wants to go for Faith, he wants Faith, one more hit, he's done. That's it, this should be GG for NewBee, no way to get out of this. Of course, it's snowball breaking back into the ghost storm, ice wall, sorry. Now the media comes plans at Afu, toast that Scorpion down with the deafening blast. Afu!
He went back into the meteor. He's still alive?
Sunstrike! Yes, they finally get the kill. But now the taxi service, Uber, and actually no, the magic missile connects on Mugi. And then out, ooh, up they come, down goes Kaka. I mean, I guess while all that was happening, at least the dire side gets one tier 2 tower, so...
I mean, they didn't lose the game. That's the impressive thing. The chances of them turning it into a comeback is still... You know, I wouldn't bet on it even if the odds were 1 in a million. But the fact they managed to hold is still pretty impressive.
What surge is this?
Now it's all about creating a very chaotic situation where
You
don't...
right there for Afu, but the damage and the Sunstrike, KP finally gets himself another duel. Alright, but no, the vacuum back into it. KP will go down to Super's right click. Super having an amazing time this game. He's even gotten dual damage as well, so I don't want to be an ass about this, but it seems like KP has given away more dual damage than he has won.
Let's do the math to confirm this. 28 on one hero, 14 on the other. So not quite,
Almost.
but when you lose the early game with this hero and like your supports don't do damage, which is one huge issue. And then the Venge was also on the other side of the map a lot of the time, so you're relying only on Sunstrike. And the only hero you saw when you had duel for like 10 minutes was an Armlet Lifestealer, which is not something you can kill. Again, it just goes back to like having a bad early game on their part.
I mean, nonetheless, we're not killing him now. Look at Monet. Oh, chewing through Kaka. DDC tried to go for the blink initiation, but the snowball to the creeps. Kaka's gonna just blink out and get away. Because the Lotus Switch, Deafening Blast gonna bump into Monet, but with the heart, he's not dying anytime soon. The tier 3 tower goes down, the bottom lane of barracks are now completely exposed. And Super will just clear out the creep wave with the razors. And of course, LFY, they can go back for round 2 any day, anytime.
Yeah, they just rinse and repeat. Lifestealer goes in the front with the Link-ins, you pop raise, you hit the tower.
Punch one more time, but they're caught by DDC. Of course, now they're going for the swap into the duel. They want to try to kill him off. They're back into the wall. And now the rock will come up with the upheaval. Okay, so Super and Darkseid both getting kill each. But SC, that's all he can do. That's all he has to say. As DDC cleans off Fave. Now the Requiem of Souls comes out. NewBee. Oh no, now the Darkseid. Okay, that Lotus Orb by Mugi. Mugi's gonna go down. That's gonna be 4 heroes, and NewBee will call it. Game 3 incoming, and what play coming out here from LFY? Celebratory Epicenter coming up from Mafu, doesn't even matter.
Dance, bitch, dance. Yeah, it was just... They started off really well, their lanes all went according to plan. They didn't really make any mistakes other than the one Aegis push, which they quickly turned around as well when they got the second one. It looks like Lifestealer is still the hero that dictates games. Like, he just sets a pace that people can't really play at, and to be fair, he played extremely well. Like, a lot of Lifestealers on that second Aegis push, they just burn the Aegis. And while it might not have mattered that much, it made the second or third push that much easier when he had it. And it secured the second racks in a much simpler way.
And yeah, definitely Monet, well, top of the game right here, 11, 0, and 8. Top of damage done for his team as well. And I mean, towards the end, I said that KP gave away more damage than he actually won. In the end, that turned out to be true. You see 32 given to Super, 28 to Monet. So that's about like 60 damage. And compared to the 48, he did manage to win this. Like I said, this was a really, really tough game to be a Legion commander. And that's why I kind of question the pick. But if anything, I question the Venge later on, because he didn't rotate as much as we usually see from players like Burning, for example, where he goes around really creating a tons of space.
He made 1 or 2 attempts, I think, early, but neither of them yielded anything. I think if I was going to be super critical of something with the ability of hindsight, the Tusk, even though he did really nice shards, it didn't matter at all. The thing they lacked was damage. They needed a hero like Leshrac, Lina, Skywrath, just something that does an absolute shit ton of damage. And that enables the heroes to then make plays with Sunstrike plus that hero plus any of the ganking tools, whether it's Venge or Elsie. The Tusk just didn't accomplish anything that game at all. Could have been any hero, and it might have worked out better. I'm not saying he played badly, but it was just how the game went, and it's very easy to pick that stuff apart with hindsight.